Okay guys, so this last lesson, I'm going to go ahead and split it up into two different videos. So this will be video 1. Okay, we've talked about translations, which is just sliding a figure left, right, up, down. We've talked about flipping an image, which is a reflection. So now we're going to move on to rotations. Okay, we're going to specifically talk about 4 different rotations: rotating 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and 360 degrees. Okay, so I just kind of want to talk you through visually what this would look like, okay, if we were to rotate images, these degree measures. Okay, each time I rotate this paper and swap the X and Y axis, I'm actually rotating this a full 90 degrees. So if I wanted to rotate point A a full 90 degrees clockwise, right, the direction that a clock goes, what we're going to do is we're going to turn this until that X and Y axis swap, okay? You notice once this is rotated 90 degrees, it looks like this. Okay, we could turn it to swap the X and Y axis again. Okay, that would be 180 degrees that we've rotated so far. Okay, if we swap the X and Y axis again, it's now 270 degrees. And if we swap the X and Y axis one last time, we've rotated a full 360 degrees. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to figure out what are the actual rules for rotating 90 degrees, okay, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and then the easy one, 360 degrees. So let's just start with experimenting with this point right here. Okay, 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, that's the same thing as how many degrees counterclockwise, right, if we were to go in the other direction. Okay, that's going to be 270 degrees counterclockwise. All right, so let's talk about A. A is sitting at 1, 2. Okay, what we're going to figure out is what is A prime once we rotate this 90 degrees clockwise. So if we swap the X and Y axis, okay, now A is sitting at 2, -1. So 2, -1. So let's take a look. It looks like the coordinates swapped, and not only did they swap, okay, but this X value became negative. So we could represent this rule as X, Y goes to, our Y goes to the front, and our X goes to the back and changes signs. Okay, and I'm just going to bubble this because this is one of our takeaways, right? Our rule for 270 degrees counterclockwise, 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, let's try a different one. This time we're going to, I'm going to reset this. Okay, this time we're going to figure out what the rule is for rotating 180 degrees clockwise, which would be the same thing as 180 degrees counterclockwise. Okay. So to do this, let's list our original A coordinate. A is at 1, 2. We're going to figure out where A prime is once we rotate this 180 degrees. Okay, so if we swap the X and Y axis, that's 90 degrees. Let's swap the X and Y axis one more time, and it looks like we are sitting at 180 degree rotation. Okay, A is now at -1, -2. So let's list this down here, A prime. -1, -2. Okay, so take a look. It doesn't look like X and Y swapped places. It looks like in this case they just swapped signs. So let's represent that with a rule. X, Y goes to -X, -Y. Okay, notice that this is very similar to reflecting over the X-axis, okay, which negates your Y, and the Y-axis, okay, which negates your X. So doing a 180 degree rotation is also the same thing as reflecting over the X and the Y-axis. It'll put you in the same spot. Okay, so that's our second takeaway of the day. Okay, and last but not least, let's talk about rotating 270 degrees. Okay, so 270 degrees clockwise would be the same thing as 90 degrees counterclockwise. Okay, so we're going to list A, is at 1, 2. And then we're going to find A prime, okay, given that we rotate 270 degrees clockwise. So let's start here. Okay, we're going to swap the X and Y axis. That's 90 degrees. Swap again, 180 degrees. Swap one last time, and we have made it to 270 degree rotation. So A prime is at -2, +1. -2, +1. Looks like they did swap places, and not only did they swap places, but the Y changed signs. So let's represent that with the rule. X comma Y goes to, okay, the Y is coming to the front and changing signs. X is going to the back, but not changing signs. Okay, so this is our last big takeaway of the day. We can talk about the 360 degree rotation. Okay, 360 degrees is the same thing as rotating kind of like 0 degrees. It's going to go back into the exact same spot. So XY would just go to XY in that case. Okay, that'll conclude the first video. I'll make another video for the next round. Thanks, guys.